Amy is not going to join us today. She's actually out of state, so it's just two members and you guys have a quorum.
I didn't bring my laptop or packet, so.
Okay, that's okay.
We can just have Jackie pull it up here, or I can find the paper copy if you prefer, back and forth.
Mainly just to call it to order and give Gary a couple of moments.
Go right ahead.
Everyone staff wise ready?
Yep.
Okay. And we're live. Are we unmuted? All right. I'd like to call the Monroe County Plat Committee meeting, July 21st, 2022, to order. We have no administrative business, no old business, and we have one new business, Clifford Huntington Sliding Scale Subdivision, case number SSS-22-4. This is a plat committee decision, and they are asking for a utility waiver request as well. And Drew, I believe this is your case, so if you'd like to take it away, please do so.
Thank you. All right, as Tom was saying, this is SSS 22-4. Clifford Huntington sliding scale subdivision, 4-lot sliding scale preliminary plat. It's located at 7480 West Howard Road, Richland Township, section 28. It is a currently unplatted property, and it's owned by Howard Farm Partners LLC. Current acreage is 80.98 acres. Its zoning is agricultural reserve. The comprehensive plan designates it as farm and forest, and its current use is residential/agricultural. Okay, so the petitioner is proposing a 4-lot sliding scale subdivision. Pardon the typo right here. The waiver request came in late. There is a waiver request. It's for the buried utility waiver. An existing overhead power line drop, service line drop, provides service to the existing residents on proposed lot 2. That line extends for approximately 126 feet. Proposed lots will be serviced by septic systems. Permit applications for septics have been submitted for the proposed lot 1 and lot 3. Lot 2 operates off of an existing septic system and received a repair septic permit. Lot 4 also has a new septic permit as well. Electric and water capacity letters have been provided by South Central Indiana REMC and Washington Township Water respectively. And this property receives access off of West Howard Road. Driveway permit approvals are pending outcome of this subdivision. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through some of this information here. Basically right here, it's talking about, see the table for details about each of the lots. And then there's this text here about the new updates to the construction stormwater general permit, formerly known as Rule 5, basically stating that if a property owner is subdividing and they are wishing to just sell the lots, they are not obligated to perform the CSGP protocols. And instead, the potential buyers, when they come to purchase those properties and build, that's when those permits are necessary through IDEM. Okay, there are some notes on the plat for some structures that will be more or less consumed by the 60-foot setback, front setback that comes with sliding scale subdivisions. So there are some notes on the plat that state that those structures that will be located in those front yard setbacks will have to be considered pre-existing non-conforming and will not be allowed to expand or otherwise be altered without approval by the Board of Zoning Appeals. I have a little snippet here from Chapter 856-41 regarding existing utility lines, basically stating the requirements that a line servicing residents or residential accessory structures shall be removed and placed underground unless waived. There are other portions of an overhead power line that are on the subject property for proposed lot 2, but they extend onward to service other lots and are thereby exempt from the waiver standards. There is some information that's provided by the Indiana State Historic Architectural and Archaeological Research Database, or SHARD. It's known as the Howard Farm, and it's rated as contributing. with the primary structure dated approximately 1895. So there is some information in this packet, in Exhibit 4 that gives more background on that, as well as the IHSSI County Survey. Talks about some of the other structures in the property. So here in Table 1, we have the details of each of the proposed lots. Lot number 1 will be the parent parcel remainder, totaling more than 55% of the total acreage. You see here, we have all the wastewater permits, septic permits squared away, utility and water permits or capacity letters, I should say. We've got driveway permits for each of them. Right-of-way dedication is required for lots 1 and 2 along West Howard. Lot 3 has frontage on North Loudon Road. And then lot 4 will have frontage on both of these. When we get to the exhibit with the preliminary plat, we can look at these items that are described here in more detail. There are some things to talk about regarding environmentally. There is a stream that cuts through the property. There are some steep slopes here and there that are over 15%. And the county stormwater has requested drainage easements that are depicted on the preliminary plat. At this time, I'll take a moment to note that the plat that's included in the packet is outdated. There's actually a more updated one that I brought to the table here, and we can pull it up online as well. It's basically just edits that were made by the petitioner's land surveyor to accommodate the comments from the MS4 coordinator, mostly drainage easements. And there are some existing structures on each of the lots. Specifically proposed lot 1 and lot 2 have existing structures. Only one residence, existing residence, and that's on lot 2. That's that contributing historic structure. All right. Highway comments. Ben Ayers has comments regarding the driveways, basically stating that lot 1 and lot 2 will meet the application or specifications of chapter 755. And there's some existing entrances for lot 4 that needs to be removed. And only one driveway is allowed per lot. Also, stormwater comments regarding those drainage easements that I spoke about, as well as a 18-inch culvert to be placed under Brighton Road.
I think, no,
think
that's
that's a whole-
yeah, that's up north up off of, not Vermont, but,
Okay,
yeah, that's a,
this is an error.
yep, it's a
Okay,
copy paste.
apologies on that.
And go slide back up,
Yes.
the existing
This,
driveway, that Ben Ayers. Is that even pertaining to us?
Are we talking about lot 4? So
Existing farm entrance, hold on. What lot number did we call the farmhouse?
2.
Two.
This
Yeah,
is existing farm entrances on lot 4.
I think that's still. Well, no, acres was only two
Yeah,
lots, so yeah, that is probably correct there.
yeah, he has the driveway permit application number stated here that coincide with the one up here.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so this is error. We can pull up the stormwater comments. I have a feeling that they're very similar. At least with the drainage easements. Comprehensive plan, as I stated, it's farm and forest. All right, getting to the exhibits, here's the slope map. As you can see, some areas are over 15%. Those are non-buildable area. Some aerial imagery here. This is from the south. This is the structure that was built circa 1895. And some of these other barn structures are on the property. These are hoop houses up here. And there's some hidden structures in these tree areas as well. So just scrolling through some of these pictometry photos. Another structure located here, you can kind of see more photographs. This one, I just have structures pinpointed with the little stars. The yellow is the residence, red are barns / sheds, and the green is the hoop houses. Okay. We can come back to any of those if you want. Okay, so here's the preliminary plat. I think I have some, yeah, I have it zoomed in a little bit more too here. And again, this one is a little outdated. There's just some additional drainage easements that were added in by the surveyor. And here is the shard database findings as well. All right, so overall, staff recommends approval based on the findings. That the proposed preliminary plat meets the subdivision control ordinance. And planning department recommends denial of the buried utility waiver based on findings of fact. I will now take any questions.
How many feet was the utility?
Approximately 126 feet from the service line that continues on to service other properties to the existing residence.
So, yeah. Bring it to the plat committee if you have any questions. I was gonna see about that waiver. Also, I think it could just be beneficial to kind of always have kind of a somewhat of a detail of what kind of waiver they're asking for. Is there any way you kind of try to highlight it to the best of your ability with one of the aerial views of
Yeah,
where that?
Yeah. Can you zoom in on that? It's the area next to Howard Road. Yeah, right in there. That's where the overhead utilities at. Yeah, at that 200 scale, you can't hardly see the utilities with contour lines and all that good stuff.
You see it?
Some of
Yeah.
there's the pole right here,
Mhm.
and then there's one in this area, and then the line comes back over here. So I think I have it zoomed in.
And that's all they're asking for the waiver.
Correct.
And then just. I know that the plat committee has been very gracious with permitting these utility waivers, but I've always forget to clarify that any new structures that are built and any new utilities that are put in will be buried. Also, I guess Drew, and just to kind of clarify it, the reason you're recommending denial is just due to the fact that there's a requirement for it to be buried, correct?
Correct, yes. Yes, basically, no practical difficulties other than expenses
Right.
decided.
Okay, and I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything else that would make you want to request denial for the waiver, so thank you.
If I can, I just add one footnote to that, Tron.
Yes,
There's a septic field that lies between the house and the creek area that the overhead power navigates over top of. We're not for sure exactly where that existing field is at. We know it's an old field, and it would run a possibility of interrupting that old existing field that might be fragile, if
Okay.
we was required to bury it. But the house is currently in a stage of renovation. So
we're not exactly sure where it's at, and we're not exactly sure if it would disturb, but we could
Right,
encounter a practical
right. We're
difficulty.
just not for sure exactly where it's
That
at.
makes sense. I guess my question is, Drew, were you familiar with that last bit of information that was just provided?
No,
Okay.
No.
I think that would be helpful to provide that kind of throughout the ongoings of this petition, because I think that could have factored in potentially, but I don't want to speculate, so.
Sure.
Thank you for that added note. I would be very curious about the driveway access that is being requested to be eliminated in lot 4. I just guess I'm not following along that great. There's a lot going on this. It's kind of pretty busy survey, honestly.
so this is proposed lot 4. And it's cut off a little bit because this is a zoom in.
Right.
Maybe it'd be easier to see what Mr. Ayers was talking about by looking at an area.
Mhm.
So there's existing access. And not to jump the gun, but my next question is going to be, there's no issue with eliminating that access, correct? Mr. Decker?
George Huntington's here to be able to speak
Yeah,
to
I
that.
can speak to that, I'm not sure which driveway will reference.
Is
Okay,
it just a tractor access?
It's basically a tractor access that allows them to access that farm field there. That's off of Loudon Road, it's the one I'm thinking of, yeah.
do we have Mr. Ayers or someone from Highway that can help speak to this? Got Paul.
Yeah, about fall.
Paul, do you think you could help us kind of precisely locate the access that's being requested to be eliminated?
Not sure which one it is. From our vote.
Or you could just press allow to talk. Yeah. Paul, can you hear us okay?
It's mute.
You're on mute, Paul.
Yeah, my big finger got in the way. Ben's looked at this, mostly. I haven't had a chance to take a look at it. So, but I
Okay,
think
Okay.
Ben's comments probably speak for themselves, though. I think, limiting, one driveway per lot
So I guess my question. there
along the
is that-
frontage of Howard Road.
Okay, along the frontage of Howard Road, that's,
Or, what's the other road that,
Loudon is the other.
yeah, right over there.
Which one is it wanting to eliminate?
I'm pretty sure it's a tractor access from what I saw in that picture.
There's only one driveway that access to property, and that's off of Howard. And then we do have tractor access off of Loudon.
so I guess my question, by eliminating it, does that eliminate their use of accessing it with a tractor? It's kind of interesting.
It doesn't thoroughly eliminate it, it certainly makes us have to drive all the way around.
Well, my guess is as long as you don't improve it to driveway standards, it should just
No
be able
plan
to
do
persist
that.
as it is.
Yeah.
I think that's, my reading of it is just blocking the possibility of developing that tractor access into the driveway access.
There are no plans to do that.
Right,
Basically, we would be eliminating that, I guess, to ever become a official kind of driveway, but if we support the highway's recommendation.
right. I mean,
My concern is that somehow you're not allowed to access it to get your tractor on. it.
right, they're gonna continue to drive access there unless we say, oh, that can't be a driveway or used in any way, shape or form for vehicular traffic and make them put a barricade up, which we're not gonna do, so. I think just as long as they submit a driveway permit for lot 4 that accesses from Howard Road, it's okay.
And I guess to take that one step further, could we just potentially ask for a condition or commitment to that effect, to secure that, so like they're later on down the road, they're like, we removed this access.
Well, I think
They
as long
can't
as,
use it for anything.
right, well, I think as long as we state clearly that the lot can only derive access from one
Approved.
driveway, one approved driveway, which drives access from Howard Road, then we're fine. They can never upgrade that to driveway standards. With that being said, Ann,
And I guess mine is just, 10, 20 years down the road, is someone gonna read that and then say you can't access that sliver for your
well,
tractor?
if they come in to get a driveway permit, they're gonna be told they can't get it.
Right, but I'm saying, even if they try to eliminate them to even access it regardless of the driveway permit, just.
Oh,
So what I'm saying is we could potentially address that
just
concern.
note that, what was originally thought to be, access to the property is not for a driveway, but is intended only for agricultural use.
Exactly, something like that. That's why I would be.
Yeah, I don't have a problem
Considering
with
to
that.
support.
Yeah, that's easy to put in there.
Mhm. No.
Yeah, and I'll note that the request for the sliding scale is just the buried utility line, the 761, the highway department's ordinance is separate. So if it doesn't comply with their ordinance, the Plat committee doesn't have jurisdiction over granting a waiver from the highway ordinance, just to be clear.
Drew,
Okay.
is there any reference to that in the findings of fact?
To,
That access that's supposedly potentially a driveway on lot 4 off of Loudon Road?
no, not in my findings.
Well, can we
So-
add into the finding those facts that there currently is agricultural access off of North Loudon Road that should be allowed to continue only as agricultural access and shall never be used as a driveway?
Paul, are you still with us? Does that sound amenable to you?
Well, take a look at Ben's comments if you could again. I
We look at.
don't
Ben's
have that
comments. Good.
handy.
I'll get to Ben's here in a second. I just want to summarize real quick what we're looking at. This is West Howard Road.
Okay.
Lot number 4 extends almost the entire length of North Loudon Road.
Correct.
Up until right about Pierce area. So this alleged driveway cut is for lot number 3. So then we have this location for lot 4, as well as what appears to be this location for lot 4.
But we're
And then
saying,
Ben's comments are saying eliminate this driveway access.
There's nothing there, there's a fence there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's.
And I don't want to, looks like from your aerial, but there's no access there.
So you don't use that to access the farm, so our
you have a
conversation.
fence and a gate there, it's obviously not a driveway.
Yeah, well, there's a fence and a gate on the first one we're looking at, but
Right.
not where we just had the cursor.
Okay,
That's kind of on top of that little.
Yeah.
well, I'm comfortable with the language that I recommended for findings of fact. That way, if anybody refers back to it historically, there's a comment or a finding that supports not allowing that driveway.
Well, if you're okay, I'd like to bring it back to the Plat committee and then open it up to public, if anyone else is. here.
Yeah, I just had one question. I think the statement was made that the historic home on lot 2 is undergoing renovation. Is it being restored to original or near original?
I do not know the answer. Our plan is to sell that home.
Okay, all
And
right.
that's one of the reasons why we're doing this. That property is going to be
Right.
sold.
Well, my point being is that regardless of how it continues to be used, you know, that pole doesn't have any effect on the traffic. It's been there since the electricity came to it.
Since our AMC brought.
So,
power.
right, so, you know, in a way, it almost is, you know, it would seem to me counterintuitive to compel burying a power line for such a small access. So I don't have an issue with waiving that requirement.
And I guess with the renovations, that's not going to adjust the footprint, which is gonna now be restrictive. As far as moving forward, okay, and then I guess the fact that you have the detail with the 50-foot easement is a solution that seems somewhat promising. Going through all the structures, because typically what's requested is a 100-foot easement, and I think that this is kind of the solution that presented it themselves, and seeing that there's no other concerns from stormwater, I think that's fine. Am I right with that
Well, the
assertion?
50-foot easement is an ingress egress easement between the buildings for the use of multiple lots there. They want to be able to have a shared driveway situation at the old farm house itself, which would be on the east side, or yeah, it'd be the east side, and then also be able to drive access here to this lot.
Okay, so that's not a drainage easement, that's
No, the drainage easement's gonna follow the creek here, Tron. Lots of lines going on. It'll be a lot cleaner once we remove some of these contours, but the red or the orange dash lines here that you're seeing following the creek channel, that's your drainage area. Yeah,
There's a blow up of it right here.
yeah. Now that what you're looking at is a blow up of this area right here, Jerry. this
Okay,
area right
all right,
through here, so
gotcha.
that's the driveway
Gotcha.
coming in off of Howard.
Okay,
So this blow up of that.
That's helpful.
Yeah, the 200 scale, things get really, really cramped, so we had to kind of think outside the box a little bit and try to show the detail of it.
Eric, I don't care what everybody else is saying. I think you do good work, man.
Appreciate you, Jerry. You know, this place here, it does, I'm very proud to be part of this project here. This here used to be my great grandfather's farm here.
Oh,
in
really?
fact, yeah. So I grew up here, caught the bus here. And, you know, that's where family Christmases and stuff were held at. So I'm very glad to see that somebody's wanting to kind of pick up the reins and start to want to do something with that old farmhouse and bring it back to life.
Yeah.
I
Did you
think
say
there's-
great granddad?
Yes,
Okay, I just knew your first granddad.
right?
Relocated from down by the lake.
They did,
Yeah.
right? Sugar Creek.
I would like to, I guess, ask one more question. Is there any other areas that Drew, you'd like us to kind of look at before we open it up to public comment and make a motion?
I don't believe so. There is this one barn here, on proposed, would be a lot one. That's just right up onto the right of way line. But it's being shown here is not encroaching over. But it's just close, so that's something to note. But other than that, I don't think that there is anything else that I really wanted to point out.
Okay. Jerry, any additional comments, questions?
Yeah, just one final comment. This is an area that I'm familiar with. Ironically, because we used to go to the dump on Howard Road or Ord Road, so we go by there. And at one time, a buddy of mine, Tom Harden, lived with the foster dad, and that's where they lived. So I've been by this property for years and years and years, never realized how many acres were behind that house. So I think this is a very respectful use of that property to give the owners an opportunity to realize some financial benefit from it, but also preserve it in a way that reflects its agricultural heritage. So I just wanted to make note of that because I think it is a wonderful example of compact use for revenue while preserving agricultural history. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a nice comment. I guess I will open it up to the public since we are taking final action today. Is there anyone from the public that wish to speak? I can see that you're here with the public with your, you're the owner and vested, so, and no one else is here, right, with us today,
Right.
so, seeing that there's no public comment, I'd like to bring it back to the Plat committee to make a motion, and I'll just indicate that I'm in support of approving the waiver for the utility. So, if you wanted to bring it up to the agenda so we could see the case number, I think we're ready for a motion.
Are you making the motion?
Sure.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion in case SSS 22-4, the Clifford Huntington sliding scale subdivision. I would like to recommend approval of the sliding scale subdivision and approval of the utility waiver request as well.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve SSS 22-4, which includes a sliding scale subdivision 4 lots with a buried utility waiver. John and Randolph,
Yes.
Jerry Pittsford,
Yes,
I had a Larry moment. It's approved 2-0.
Thank you.
thank you
I
very much.
appreciate everybody's time coming out here today.
Thank
All right.
Good luck
you.
on your development. Look forward to seeing what you do.
Thank you all.
I guess I will officially call this a meeting adjourned.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, very good.
Hey, I have a question about a property I own.
I'll reach out.
Can you
down the
So
road.
you looked up,
Okay.
Maycrest lot